All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. Now, with the calendar about the jump to the month of March, it means that the NCAA tournament is right around the corner. But I expect this year's version of March Madness to be as wacky as ever. You think about the amount of different teams that have been number one in the rankings this year. And then on top of that, you think about the inability for some of these teams to be able to consistently win on the road. I think all of that is going to factor in. And before we even get to the tournament, I think the conference tournaments are going to be as hectic as ever, especially in the ACC, Big 12, Big East, Big 10, and SEC. I think, just because a team goes in there as a top two or three seed in any of those respective tournaments, and it's not just those tournaments. I think there's going to be some things going on in other tournaments as well, but I'm just highlighting those. It's not a guarantee that those teams are going to be the last respective teams standing in their respective conference tournaments. And then on top of that, there's going to be some bid stealers out there, whether it's from the mid major level, whether it's from the bigger power conference level. You're going to see some teams rise up that might have not even been on a bubble, but nobody was really thinking about. And the next thing you know, they punched a ticket and took a ticket away from somebody else. And in regards to the NCAA tournament, let's not forget last year we saw four double digit seeds reach the Sweet 16, which included a 15 seed in St. Peter's, getting all the way to the Elite Eight. And I wouldn't be surprised by more of the same this year. I mean, obviously, we still got a couple of weeks before the brackets are released, but I'm just going out there and throwing it out. It wouldn't surprise me to see a double digit team in the Final Four this year, just because of the makeup of this particular season. And you think about it, not too many teams have really been able to distance themselves from the rest of the pack as the team or teams to beat. And I think that is going to carry over into March for both the conference tournaments as well as the NCAA tournament. I think a lot of this can be attributed to the transfer portal because it's given teams an opportunity to turn things around overnight. And, that has also made way for more parity. We've seen it in college football, and it's definitely the same in college basketball as well. I think that definitely is a factor. And for me, I'm not a betting man, but I would stay away from the favorite teams in rounds one and two in this tournament because I think there's going to be a lot of upsets. I'm just going on a hunch right there, and not as much a hunch as far as what I have seen so far this season. And again, the inconsistency from a lot of teams, the inability to win on the road, any way you want to slice it, I think there are going to be upsets coming down the pike. Also, you have to factor in some of these mid-major programs as well as these lower tier programs. And a lot of these kids, they've played together for 3 or 4 years. There's a lot of cohesion between them. And then on top of that, they have something to prove. And you're going to have some teams from those lower conferences coming into the NCAA tournament riding 15 and 20 game winning streaks. They don't know how to lose. And then on top of that, they're not afraid of the name on the front of the jersey of the team that they are facing. So make no mistake about it. I think if you want to see some upsets, round one and round number two are definitely there for you. And if you're going to bet on the favorites, you know what, you might want to steer clear of that. I just have a feeling that this tournament is going to be as wild and wacky as ever. And again, just go back to this season. You look at how some of these teams have really struggled away. I mean, Houston, from the American, they look like a world beater, and I still think they could be a team to be reckoned with in the NCAA tournament. But then you look at some of the teams that have struggled on the road this year, a la North Carolina. And I know North Carolina's a bubble team right now, but they have 7 losses away from home. You look at how the Big 12 is just beating up on each other all season long. Will that factor in? What will the Big East be able to do? Then you look at the Big 10. these teams are beating up on each other all year. But I mean, Indiana, as good as they have been, and of course, we just saw Indiana sweep Purdue. They're 5-7 on the road, and then you also look at a Maryland team who was 11-7 in the Big Ten, but all seven of those losses, pardon me, six of their seven conference losses came on the road. So I'm just highlighting these teams. There's a lot of other teams that that you can make that comparison to, but nonetheless, I think when it's all said and done, this is going to be a hectic tournament, especially in rounds one and two. And again, if you watch the first two rounds and you think that's it, I think it carries over into the Sweet 16 and a little bit deeper into the tournament. I think Cinderella will be dancing for a while in this one. And for anybody who's just a fan of college basketball, just buckle up because I think the madness is definitely going to live up to its name this year and then some. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.